I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all. Clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it.
Floyd's broke. You got to understand, the only thing more embellished than Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view numbers is Floyd Mayweather's net worth, and he made a lot of money. But remember this, it does not matter what you made, it matters what you kept, and he is a dumb.
I believe that Floyd Mayweather has gone completely broke. And not just broke, but millions and millions of dollars in debt. And I know it sounds crazy to some of you out there, but trust me, I have legitimate proof.
Stephen A. Smith has called out Floyd Mayweather for claiming he bought 62 buildings worth $42 million. Reports say Floyd doesn't actually own them, he just has small shares. Stephen is now asking if Floyd made up the story to cover up rumors about going broke and possibly being tied to a $42 million scam.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
Stephen A. Smith has always given Floyd Mayweather his due respect. He's regularly praised Floyd's boxing career, especially the way he stayed undefeated in the second half of it. Smith often points to Floyd's discipline, sharp defense, and perfect record as proof of his greatness. To him, Floyd wasn't just a winner. He was a smart, strategic fighter who knew how to avoid losing. That kind of dominance earned him respect from both fans and experts.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much. Yeah. And literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
But the praise started to fade once Mayweather entered a new chapter, exhibition fights after retirement. He came back to the ring not to build his legacy, but seemingly just for the paycheck. His match against Logan Paul made that clear. Stephen A. didn't hold back, calling out the fight for having no real competitive value. Logan, a YouTuber-turned-amateur boxer, wasn't a serious opponent. For a former boxing king like Mayweather, taking that fight looked more like a money move than a display of greatness.
Boxers, if not the greatest boxer in history, he's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago, and for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor, not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
I just believe.
Stephen A. didn't stop at criticizing the Logan Paul fight. In several interviews, he shared his concerns about Mayweather's entire exhibition approach. While he agreed that fighting Conor McGregor made some sense because of his background in combat sports, he felt Floyd crossed the line after that. Choosing low-level opponents for easy money, in Smith's eyes, was hurting the legacy Floyd had spent years building. It looked like Mayweather cared more about making money than protecting his spot in boxing history. To Smith, the message was clear: cash had taken priority over legacy.
Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it.
This became especially clear in one blunt interview where Stephen A. directly asked Mayweather, what matters more, your money or your legacy? It was a question meant to spark reflection, but Mayweather kept steering the conversation back to money. He talked about his business smarts and how much revenue he'd made. But to Stephen A. and many others, It sounded like he was choosing wealth over the lasting respect that comes with a true legacy.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
We ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses. I don't want my kids to have to answer to nobody. So I will take the long road. I will take the bumps and the bruises for them, but for my loved ones.
But fear.
This money-centered image has left its mark on the next generation of athletes. Stephen A. argued that young fighters today don't look up to Floyd for his talent, footwork, or boxing IQ. They're drawn to his wealth, flash, and public image. To Smith, that's a problem. It shifts the focus from skill to cash, sending the message that getting rich is more important than mastering the sport. In his view, that mindset goes against everything Floyd once represented.
It's the businessman in Mayweather they actually love even more. As the sun clearly set on the boxing career of Mayweather, many can reflect on a lot of things about the man. He wasn't a Mike Tyson-like knockout artist, or even Tommy the Hitman Hearns. To many, he wasn't even Sugar Ray Leonard. He certainly can't be confused with Muhammad Ali or any other fighter who's ever been socially conscious. No doubt he was guilty of domestic violence, as our very own The Undefeated accurately pointed out. He definitely had his share of boring fights that didn't give the people what they actually wanted to see. But that ain't the legacy these athletes are paying attention to. What they're paying attention to instead is the $1 billion plus Mayweather has earned in his career. How box office he made himself. How he's been his own boss, answerable to no commissioner, no owner, no GMs, and barely even the fans for the last decade in achieving unprecedented wealth, fame, and control of his own name, his own brand. And how despite strenuous efforts by so many to bring him down, they simply weren't able to do it. You want to see an athlete drool? The idolized displaying deference and respect? Watch.
It became glaringly obvious when Floyd was asked why he chose to fight Logan Paul instead of a bigger name like Tyson Fury. His answer: Logan had more followers. That was it. No mention of skill, legacy, or competition, just social media influence. For many, including Stephen A., this showed that Mayweather's priorities had completely changed. He wasn't boxing for the challenge or the legacy anymore. He was boxing for attention and money.
Why fight Logan Paul?
Name another boxer besides myself that's more famous than Logan Paul.
Tyson Fury?
What? I want you to look up Tyson Fury, how many followers, and look up how many followers Logan Paul has.
Logan Paul, 56 million. Tyson Fury, 4 million.
So 50 compared to 4 something. I can fight a fighter right now, guarantee myself 35 million. Or me and Logan Paul can go out and entertain and have fun and make 100 million or more. So if you were me, you gotta look at 35 million for 12 rounds and 100 for 6 rounds. Big difference.
Floyd Mayweather was once the highest paid athlete in the world, not just in boxing, but across all sports. That reputation earned him respect. However, as new rumors and details about his finances surface, his legacy is starting to take a hit. The man who was once celebrated for his careful planning and discipline is now being questioned about the wealth he often boasts about.
Floyd Mayweather, the highest paid athlete, not the highest paid boxer, the highest paid athlete in the world. I had the opportunity and pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3, 4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the cars follow him and he's running down the Las Vegas Strip, down back street.
Mayweather has shown off his wealth for years, with one of the most talked about moments being his $1.8 million watch, an over-the-top flex that even stunned seasoned celebrities. From Bugattis to private jets, his lifestyle was all about excess. But now, those same displays of wealth are being looked at with a more critical eye.
How much is it?
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
happy birthday, champ. That's how we doing. That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him when he say you.
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. One of one piece.
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That one of one.
$1.8 million.
It's a one of one. I love that.
Adding fuel to the fire, former UFC fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen exposed an uncomfortable truth. He claimed that the Mayweather vs. McGregor fight wasn't as financially successful as it seemed. Sonnen, who covered the event, said many of the empty seats were filled with people just to create the illusion of a sold-out crowd, something Mayweather's PR team was behind. Before Floyd became Money Mayweather, he was already facing serious financial issues. Reports revealed he was facing jail time for unpaid taxes, and to avoid prison, he had to borrow $2 million just to pay off part of his debt. This wasn't the tale of a financial genius. It was the story of a man on the brink of collapse.
Me and Eric B were at, from Eric B and Rakim, we were at the Mondrian. Floyd Mayweather was there. He had some tax issues. He was about to go to jail, but that's before Money Mayweather, that's Pretty Boy Floyd.
Got you.
He was speaking to E. He needed a couple of $1 million to stay out of jail. I called my man Neil, who I was rocking with heavy. He owns Scunty, the hair accessory company. Everybody thought I was crazy. Say, yo, loan me $2 million. I want to sign Floyd. He flew out, loaned me the $2 million, and from there on, we were in the boxing business.
The numbers tell a different story. At one point, Floyd reportedly owed $22.2 million to the IRS. For someone who claimed to be the wealthiest athlete alive, that kind of tax bill definitely raises some questions. It suggested that his flashy lifestyle might have been more of a facade than fans ever realized.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Even rapper 50 Cent, once close to Mayweather, weighed in. In interviews, he revealed that Floyd had spent recklessly on everything from jewelry to gambling, eventually leaving him broke. According to 50 Cent, Mayweather's return to fighting YouTubers wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. He needed money, and now he was putting his legacy on the line to get it.
I believe that Floyd Mayweather has gone completely broke. And not just broke, but millions and millions of dollars in debt. And I know it sounds crazy to some of you out there, but trust me, I have legitimate proof. Watch this.
He asked me to help him, so I could stop them from using TMT as their logo right now. Because
you wouldn't do that because y'all cool again.
Yeah, I'm just not chasing it. But to be honest with you, I incorporated TMT in Delaware while he was incarcerated. Because he didn't sign the paper doesn't mean the corporation isn't valid. So I could actually, technically it trademarks the term of it because the entire corporation is built on it. So I could tell you, you can't have TMT socks. You can't have that TMT shirt you got on. He don't understand that because he's just not. I just said it and he won't be able to figure out that I could do that.
Damn, you and this guy, man. I thought y'all was good again.
We are good. I just don't understand why he having the conversation. How am I coming up in conversation? I don't even care about what they're doing.
So there's still some static.
No, it only happens when it's fight time.
Got it.
It's time to build some type of energy or some sort of press. Right. It's time to make a fight, and then that happens.
So through the BX Fight Club, you met someone,
Isaac, right? Because they had to legalize it on paper to turn it into like a dark show, like when they don't have television involved with a boxing event. Even Floyd, when you make yourself like we got issues over your anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah. That's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
Another legendary fighter, Oscar De La Hoya, also spoke out, urging Floyd to stop embarrassing himself. He emphasized that legacy should matter more than clout. De La Hoya's words echoed what many others had been thinking. Floyd needed to stop before he tarnished the image he had worked so hard to build over decades.
Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real the crowd booing in the arena at the end. But in the middle of the second round, Floyd literally had the referee swapped out. He didn't like that the referee told him to stop hitting behind the head. Floyd is used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
When reports surfaced that Floyd had donated to homeless shelters in Los Angeles, it briefly earned him some praise. But that admiration quickly turned to confusion when Mayweather posted on Instagram from Dubai, contradicting the timeline of the donation. It raised the question, was this an attempt to fix his image? If so, it backfired, casting doubt on his credibility. Things got even worse when Gervonta Davis, once mentored by Mayweather, made a shocking claim. According to Davis, Mayweather wasn't on a world tour as he said. He was actually held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts, specifically for luxury jewelry and items. This bold accusation rocked fans and added serious fuel to the fire, completely contradicting Mayweather's version of events.
Let's talk about this picture of Mayweather in Dubai that's going viral. Here's the backstory. According to Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather is being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts. Boxing agent Rick Glazer confirmed Davis's comments by saying Floyd is desperately trying to work things out with Dubai's court system. And that's why my comment, blink twice if you're stuck there, on this post is getting a lot of attention. Mayweather still hasn't addressed the situation, so stay tuned.
While Floyd posted photos and stories claiming he was on a global tour, Gervonta Davis insisted he was actually stuck in Dubai until his debts were paid off. This fueled more suspicion about Mayweather's financial situation. To cover up the truth, Floyd continued to claim he was on a world tour, but Davis exposed the lie, revealing Floyd was trapped in Dubai over unpaid debts. In an attempt to salvage his image, Floyd exaggerated claims like owning 62 buildings worth $42 million, a story that only further damaged his reputation.
Turns out that the rumors were true and Floyd Mayweather has been trapped in Dubai for the last 50 days. Gervonta Davis was the first to claim it. Now multiple insider sources have confirmed that he is in fact trapped in Dubai for a debt that has nothing to do with boxing. After doing a little digging, it seems that someone in his camp while he was shopping for jewelry in Dubai stole one of the pieces, got away with it, and then blocked all communication with Mayweather. Since then, Floyd has already paid for the jewelry, but they refuse to let him go until they get their piece back. And allegedly, this guy right here is the thief that started this whole mess.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.